Hello there. I wanted to talk to you about employment, the impact of the Employment Rights Act 2026. So, I am writing a book. I'm not quite sure how it's going to be phrased at the moment, but I want to capture all these little incidents that happen that affect everyone, the ordinary person, and compile it into one document. So that's why I'm reading excerpts and sharing them with you. But I'm struggling because I've got this throat condition that it goes away and it comes back. So let's see how I get on. It's early morning in London and I'm walking past a row of cafes where the 0-hour workers and delivery drivers are just starting their shifts. They're on 0-hour contracts, some juggling college or other part-time work, some relying solely on this unpredictable schedule to make ends meet. You see them smile and joke with customers, but there's a quiet tension in the way they check their phones every few minutes, wondering if the next shift will actually be assigned, wondering if they'll be paid properly if something goes wrong. It's the hidden side of work we rarely see, the instability, the uncertainty, the sense that you're always one misstep or missed hour away from financial strain, and yet, for all the stress, they show up because work isn't about money, it's about dignity, routine, and purpose. Hold on. That is why what's coming with the Employment Rights Act 2026 is so profound. It might sound bureaucratic when you read the headlines, biggest overhaul of employment law in a generation, but this is about people's lives, the kind of lives you walk past every morning on your way to the tube or the bus stop. This is about giving the care worker, the agency cleaner, the delivery driver, the 0 hours worker something they've long been denied, which is certainty, recognition, the knowledge that from day one, what they're owed is clear, enforceable, and backed by law. Take sick pay, for example. For too long, many 0-hour workers have had to choose between going to work sick, losing money, or even facing a subtle penalty from the employer, who might see them as disposable. The Act changes that fundamentally. Sick pay starts from day one. No waiting period, no arbitrary threshold. If you fall ill, you don't have to worry whether your next shift will even be paid. You are protected. Imagine the relief for someone who lives hand to mouth, who sends half their earnings back home to support a family, who has been silently dreading a cough or a sore throat because it might cost them income or employment. That's tangible. That's human change. And then there's holiday pay. It might seem simple for some, but for casual workers, unpaid leave has been a kind of ghost hovering over their plans and ambitions. No more. Paid holiday accrues from the very first day. Workers can plan a short break, a visit to family, a day of rest without fearing the legal limbo that used to shadow every casual contract. It's a small change on paper, but for the person saving for that rare moment off, it's monumental. But perhaps the most transformative element isn't the rights themselves, it's the accountability they demand from employers. There's a shift happening here, one that reshapes the fundamental understanding of work relationships. Employers can no longer adopt the "I don't owe this person anything" mindset. From the moment a worker steps through the door, there's an obligation, clear, non-negotiable, immediate. That changes how people are recruited, how schedules are managed, how managers plan and communicate. It makes hiring a considered act, not just a tick to box, not just a box to tick. There's a psychological weight here too, a kind of ethical gravity. Because if you're responsible from day one, you think twice about every choice you make regarding the person in front of you. The Fair Work Agency adds another layer, acting as the guardian of these rights. For a worker, it's a safety net that has long been overdue. No more wondering if complaining or challenging a violation will backfire. The law now provides a structured avenue for enforcement. This doesn't just protect the individual, it nudges employers into compliance and fairness. Suddenly, informal arrangements, cash-in-hand practices, and the murky grey areas where exploitation thrived come risky for the business. Transparency, fairness, and accountability start to reshape workplaces from the inside out. And then you realise the wider impact. A 0 hours worker now has the stability that ripples outwards. Better planning for meals, childcare, commuting, even healthcare. They can participate more fully in family life, social life, civic life, because work isn't a constant source of anxiety. It's not a cage of uncertainty. It's a structured place with rights and protections. That's stability. That's recognition. Might seem abstract when discussed in Parliament or on legal briefings, but for someone living in it, it's the difference between living hand to mouth and having breathing room, dignity and hope. There's also a cultural shift. Employers too begin to internalise the gravity of this new landscape. No longer can they treat work as disposable commodity. They must respect the humanity of each person they hire from the very start. It's not merely legal compliance. It's a subtle nudge towards ethical labour practices. It encourages careful recruitment, thoughtful scheduling, fair treatment. And in sectors like care work, hospitals or retail or hospitality even, where 0 hours contracts have long dominated this could mean higher retention, better morale, and perhaps even improved service quality. Treating workers as stakeholders from day one becomes part of the fabric of the organisation, not an afterthought. Of course, 0 hours contracts still carry unpredictable in hours worked. That doesn't vanish overnight. But the law ensures that within whatever hours are worked, the work is treated fairly, paid properly, and supported legally. That's a sea change. It's a recognition that people who do essential work, often under precarious conditions, deserve respect, rights, and certainty. The Act doesn't just create rules on paper. It reshapes daily life for the working population, who have felt overlooked or undervalued for too long. And as you walk past the cafes or the hospital ward, you realise this is more than legislation. It's a statement about society, about fairness, dignity and responsibility. It's about a culture that finally acknowledges that even the most casual or irregular work deserves respect and protection. It tells us that in 2026, work is not just a transaction, but a human relationship, one the law is now committed to safeguarding from the very first day. And I thought that was good news, really, because I can't even imagine what it must be like not to know if you're going to get paid for the next day, worried if you say something about unfair treatment, whether you're going to be booted out. And also, apparently, they're going to shift. You couldn't sue for wrongful dismissing. You couldn't sue for wrongful dismissal until after 2 years of employment. That's going to change to 6 months in 2026 to 2027. So that's another thing that's good, because a lot of employers, I shouldn't say a lot, but a few employers, what they do, they wait until they know that the employee can't do nothing for 2 years. They can't sue anything. So they try to get away with a lot. But now it's only 6 months. They have to wait. Well, employees have to wait. Anyway, I'm babbling on. I haven't got a good throat, so I'm going to stop it here and hope you have a good evening, and you take care now. So, take care, and I hope this was useful, and you can write your comments below. Bye-bye.